One in three retirees say they retired too soon. They thought they were ready to hang it up, so they retire, and then real life hits. And for some of these folks, real life hit them like a ton of bricks. And then they look back and they realize, yeah, I retired too soon. Well, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the surprising reasons that so many wish they'd waited. And I'm also going to tell you how you can avoid making the same mistake. And that's all up next right here on Over 50 TV. Welcome back. My name is Lou Reyes, and this is Over 50 TV, where we help you earn more and retire smarter after 50. Now, today I'm going to be revealing the surprising reasons why one in three people say that they retire too soon. But before I get rolling, I do want to thank Career Fitter for sponsoring our video. Career Fitter makes a career aptitude test. That's one of the best that we've tested here at Over 50 TV. And their test, it'll help you discover which careers better match your strengths and your personality. Now, there's a link in the description box of this video so that you can try the free version. I think you'll find their test very helpful. So now, let's start with what retirees are saying. In a study published by the National Bureau of Economic Research, more than one-third of retirees, and that's over 33%, of course, well, they say they regret not working longer. Now, another survey from Yahoo Finance, well, it backs up that study. They're saying that a big chunk of older Americans just wish they hadn't left the workforce so soon. And another eye-opener, and this is according to Medicare FAQ, 20% of early retirees specifically regret retiring when they did, and that means they left the workforce before full retirement age, and later they realize, well, it may not have been their best move. So, what is driving this regret? Well, it's not just about the money, although that's definitely part of it. Financial shortfalls. You know, a lot of folks who retire early, well, they think, they believe they've saved enough, but then reality hits and they realize that healthcare costs are rising, inflation's eating into fixed incomes, and those Social Security checks, well, they're smaller, especially if you're somebody who's decided to take Social Security early. Consequently, many retirees, well, they're finding themselves dipping into their savings faster than they expected, and those savings, well, as they dwindle, some folks, well, they even end up going back to work, and it's not because they want to, but because they have to. And that is not what retirement is supposed to feel like. Loss of purpose and structure. You know, this is something that a lot of folks don't talk about enough. You know, when you retire, you're not just giving up a paycheck, you're giving up a routine, you're giving up a sense of purpose, and you're giving up your work community, your friends, your buddies, the folks you work with, the people that you see virtually every day. Think about it. For decades, work, it gave you a reason to get up, to get out, and to interact with folks. And then suddenly it's all gone. Some retirees out, they're going to feel adrift. Many folks say, I thought I'd love the freedom, but now every day, well, it just feels the same. You know, if you don't have something meaningful to retire to, well, retirement, it can feel more like isolation rather than liberation. Health insurance gaps. You know, another big reason, and I think I should underline the word big. Well, another big reason that people say they retire too soon, health insurance. You know, if you retire before you're eligible for Medicare at age 65, well, you've got to bridge that gap somehow. And private health insurance, I think we all know, well, that is not cheap. So for some folks, it becomes a serious burden. They either pay sky-high premiums, they settle for limited coverage, or they just delay care. Well, none of those, not one of those are good options. Missing out on benefits. You know, here's something a lot of people just simply overlook. Employer benefits, well, they're often better. They're often better the longer you stay on the job. And these benefits, they can include pensions, 401k matches, profit sharing, and even phased retirement plans. You leave too early and you may leave those dollars on the table. And let's not forget that you earn more Social Security the longer that you wait to file. So every year that you delay between 62 and 70, well, it just gives you a bigger paycheck for life. So what can you take away from this video? Well, if you're thinking about early retirement, you might want to pause and really think about all the consequences. Look at the whole picture, not just the dream, but look at the potential downsides. The truth is, retirement isn't a one size fits all kind of thing. For some people, for some folks, leaving work early, well, it's exactly the right move. But for others, it just leads to unexpected regrets. So ask yourself this question: do I have enough saved? Another question: do I have a plan for health insurance? And you might also want to ask yourself, am I mentally and emotionally ready for this big change? If the answer to any one of those questions is, I'm not sure, well, if that's your answer, I'm going to say you're not alone and you're wise. You'd be very wise to think it through. Now, I'm going to also ask you to let me know in the comments, are you somebody who is thinking about retiring early, or maybe you did it already? And if you did, just let me know how it's working out for you. Now, if you want more videos about earning more so you can retire smarter, well, then you're going to want to check out the videos up here in the corner of this video. Now, before we close, I want to thank CareerFitter for sponsoring our video. CareerFitter does make a career aptitude test. That's one of the best that we've tested here at Over 50 TV. And I've tested quite a few career aptitude tests, and I can certainly say that it is a career aptitude test. I think that you're gonna really find very, very helpful. It'll help match your strengths and your personality. And there is a link, as I said, in the description box. You can try out the free version. Now, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like and also subscribe to Over 50 TV. Well, that's all I got for you. I want to thank you for watching. And as I always say, have a great day, everybody.